Hello, Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond sisters. And you may have, we were just on a live broadcast, and what I realized and I forgot to do is when we're using a phone for a live broadcast, you have to turn off the Wi-Fi. Otherwise, if there's no Wi-Fi, that it turns off. So with that said, we're back again to finish the conversation. So I'm going to start over from scratch, only because the information that I'm sharing is so important that we're going to start over. And so if you were with me in this prior live, I apologize. We're going to start again. So what I wanted to talk about today is this concept of being unstoppable, and where I got this concept of unstoppable. Well, number one, it's been my belief system since day one. So back in 2005, when my divorce process started and I was going through my divorce, I was very different than many other women that were going through the divorce at the same time, because I had a knowing in my heart. I did not want to be going through my divorce. It was my reality, right? And the moment that I got into agreement, or I got into the point of understanding my reality and getting to that set point of, okay, this is what it is, but it doesn't mean that it has to be the rest of my life. My decision, and it wasn't a hope, it wasn't a prayer, it was decisiveness. I decided that I would be married again, that I would be married again to a wonderful man, that I would have the family that I desired, that I would be traveling and doing the things that I wanted to do, that I would be working anywhere, anytime, that I would be helping people just like you heal their hearts, create their amazing lives. And now fast forward, this 15, 18 years later, I'm doing exactly that. And so this concept of unstoppable means there's no plan B. It is what it is that you want. It's decided. You don't decide to have something in the middle of the storm. The best way to move through the storm is decide what it is you want, and then without a shadow of a doubt, you find the tools to make it through the storm. Because if you start deciding what it is and what you want in the middle of the storm, likely you could give up and you could say, you know what, this is too hard. I don't have the right tools. I'm not going to do this. That's not what we do. We decide that we want to have the best relationship with ourselves. We decide that we want to bring in a partner in our life when we're ready, because the number one thing we have to do first is fall in love with ourselves. And so when the storm comes, because it's not about if the storm comes, it's when the storm comes, there's no giving up, right? That's the concept of unstoppable. You are just as smart and as beautiful, as intelligent as every woman who is modeling the life that you would like to have. The difference, if you don't have the success or you don't have what it is that you want now, the only difference is that maybe there's areas where you have given up, or maybe there's areas where you haven't persevered. And today is the opportunity to recalibrate, to renegotiate what it is that you want, and then renew what it is that you want and go after those goals without a shadow of a doubt. Because again, when the storm hits, it's not about giving up. It's about what tools do I need to use? What tools do I need to apply in order to get me across the bridge? Because I am decided that I'm going to have this type of relationship. I've decided this is the family unit that I am working towards. I've decided that these are the vacations and these are the things that I would like to have, because you have a standard and you have a decision, and the decision is no longer based outside of yourself. It is 100% based inside of yourself, in your soul, in your vision. And this was the concept that Brian Tracy was talking about. So what he was talking about was with money, but it's the same principle that we use with relationships. And he was talking about making the first $1 million. And what he said was the first $1 million is hard, but the second $1 million is inevitable. And the reason why, it's not becoming a millionaire that's important. It's the person you must become to become a millionaire. And that, the marriage itself, the connection with another person, isn't as important as the person you must become in order to attract that right marriage into your life. Because when you when you have the scaffolding set where we've got in there and we've removed the past patterns, beliefs, behaviors, and habits that have attracted to you the wrong people in the past, when we're able to remove those and replace those with the habits, the beliefs, the behaviors that are going to serve you, you are literally becoming a new person from the inside out. You are still the lovely woman that you are. You're still the lovely mother, the sister, the friend, the leader. The difference is that we're becoming a new person inside and out, and the expectation of attracting exactly the right partner is no longer in fear, worry, and doubt. It's an expectation. We're holding a standard because we first held a standard for ourselves. We're not allowing the emotion to drive us to what it is we don't want. We're actually using the emotion, and we're using the pain, and we're using the situation as a catalyst that we could learn from, that we could course correct, and we could set a new goal, right? If you don't have a goal of what it is you want, today's the perfect opportunity to sit down and write that goal. Because in relationship, just like it is in attracting money, we have got to become a completely new and different person in order to attract what it is that we want. Because think about it. If we keep doing the same things that we've done in the past and we're expecting a different result, it's the definition of insanity. There's no right or wrong, bad or good there. In this area of life, in the relationships, it just doesn't serve us. We've got to come up with this new formula. And we've got to develop character beyond 99% of people in this world. You see, so many women will have the call to develop a new character. They'll have the call to learn from what happened. They'll have the call in their heart that they're ready, that they want to bring a new person in their life. But what ends up happening is the pain will come in and say, you know what? I'm not willing to take that risk. I'm fine by myself. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't need a man, right? We've heard these stories. I don't need anybody else. I don't need a man. I'm going to just be on my own. And there are times that being on our own and where we don't necessarily need a partner, right, is because we're learning and healing ourselves, and we're living an amazing life, and we're doing the things to recalibrate the relationship with ourselves. Of course, that's the most important time. I think having that time is a gift that so many women in this world don't have, right? It's because many women are in a relationship that isn't necessarily serving them. And they don't have the opportunity or the ability to course correct and relearn about themselves and have an amazing experience with learning who they are as a woman, not just from a young girl, but who they are as a woman. So we get to learn about ourselves, right? But so many women will hear this call and they'll let the emotion, they'll let the fear guide them, and they will stay stuck. And that is not us. If you are here at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, it's simply not an option for you. And on our way to developing and attracting the best relationship that we want, right? Our soul partner, our soulmate, we understand that we have to develop the best relationship with ourselves. We're developing honesty. We're developing discipline. We're developing relationships, not only with ourselves, but with other people. We have a willingness to set priorities. We have a willingness to work hard. We have a willingness to not stop, right? Become unstoppable until we get to our goals, because you've already been dealt a hand that you may not have wanted, right? This divorce wasn't something that you had, as a little girl, decided that you wanted to go through, but for whatever reason, this is your space, right? This is your space. And so even as we're growing and we're developing and we're entering into this new version of who we are going to be dealt cards that may not feel good. They may feel hard, but they're not necessarily hard. They're just different and they're challenging. But when you set your intention in your mind that your only option is to have the best relationship for yourself, the best relationship with the partner yet to come, then when the storm comes, it's not about giving up. It's about what tools do I need in order to make it through the storm. Before it rains, if you leave your house in the morning and it's pouring rain, you don't go into a complete panic attack that you don't know what you're going to do and how you're going to get to the car and how you're going to use your windshield wipers and how are you going to use your umbrella. You just say, okay, what do I need? I need to use my umbrella. I need to walk to the car, and you put the car on, you put your windshield wipers on, and problem solved. It's the same thing. And so as you're on this journey, what Brian Tracy had said is, once you earn your first $1 million, The second million is inevitable because you have become the person that has the ability to receive it. You've become the person that has the ability to create it. You've become the person, you've developed the skills, the resilience, the tools, the heart set, and the mindset to develop that. And it's the same thing on the relationship side. When your partner is when you're ready to meet each other, right? Along the way, you would have been doing the work. And so once you've done the work, attracting your partner is the easy part. It truly is. And people may say, Donna, I think you're batshit crazy. And that's okay. You could think that. Attracting your partner isn't the most challenging part of the journey. The most challenging part of the journey is changing the internal dialogue of you, of becoming your own soulmate and getting out of your own way and maybe looking at your beliefs and patterns and behaviors, because there's some that have been outdated. There are some that don't serve you anymore. There are some that actually need to be annihilated, taken out, and need to be replaced by new ones. And this is your opportunity to use this time in the wilderness, to use this time self-partnering, to use this time when you don't have the responsibility of another person in a relationship. The only responsibility you have is with yourself right now and your family, to use this time to really dig down and do the work, right? And here at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, that's all we do. Is we focus on creating the best relationship with ourselves, and then we move on to attracting our partner with a 100% certainty. We are unstoppable. That is our mission. It is our goal. There is no other option. And we do this work. Not only does this work, we know that we're unstoppable, but we also have fun, right? We just came back from Cabo San Lucas. We have an amazing retreat. We're going to Sedona, Arizona, come October. And so if you're listening to this message and it is time for you to put a period, the end of sentence to the past, and create the new story, then connect with us. Come join Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond. We are an elite coaching community where we have a 12-week coaching program where you are among the best community on the planet, right? We are smart. We are intelligent women. This is not a place where we're complaining. This is not a group setting where we're like, hi, my name is Donna. I'm divorced. It is not that. This is the highest level executive coaching that you're going to get. And we come together with one outcome in mind, and that is our success. And you get to determine what your exceptional life is. You get to determine what success means to you, but together we reach it. No other option. And so if it is time for you to bring in the life that you want and the love that you deserve, it's time to do the work on yourself. It's time to build the scaffolding and the structure, not only to create the life and the love that you want, but there's an important piece of the journey. If over the past 10, 20, 30 years, you haven't been receiving the love that you deserve, or you haven't been receiving the level of life that you desire, we've got to create the ability for you to receive it, to learn how to receive. See, giving is very easy. We could give till the cows come home. It's very, very easy. But receiving good things, even though we want them, if we haven't developed the skill of how to receive good things, we have the possibility of sabotaging good things as they come across our path. And it's not because we don't want them. It's not because we don't desire them, but because we don't have the ability, we haven't acclimated to truly receiving good things. And this is another part of the process, is acclimating to this exceptional life. It's acclimating to this new level. Just as in money, if people win a lottery, right, and they go from having $0 to millions of dollars, many times those people end up spending that $1 million and then some, and then even getting into debt because they haven't acclimated to the wealth mindset. And so our job too is to acclimate to this love mindset, to this relationship mindset, to acclimate to what exactly is possible for you, and not willing to accept crumbs, is accepting this new level of life. So I would love for you to, ground and possibly consider thinking about this unstoppable mindset, because you're divorced. You are not your divorce. You are a woman who's been through a divorce. And if I could encourage you, and if there's anything that I could give you guidance on, is knowing that in my experience that I've been doing this work for quite some time, is I speak to women and I speak to people every day in my business, in practice, and just generally just being out and about in the world. And I have spoken to so many women that I have the conversation where they're telling me about their divorce journey. They're telling me what's going on. They're telling me their struggle. They're telling me how they're stuck. And I'll ask them, wow, that sounds really, it sounds like you've been through a tough time. How long have you been divorced? Expecting they'll say a couple of months or a year. And I hear 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. And this is something too that we as women will invest our time and energy and effort into our families, into our friends, into our work. But often we don't necessarily do it to ourselves to get to our goal. And just know how precious and valuable you are. And for every moment that you're not living your best life is a moment lost. And before you know it, that moment turns into hours. Those hours turns into days. Those days turns into weeks. Those weeks turns into months. Those months turns into years. And those years turns into decades. Don't allow yourself, do not allow your divorce to steal you or rob you from decades of life. We only get one chance in this thing, this body that we're here in. I do believe that we come back and we revisit this earth, and there's different life journeys and there's different soul journeys that we go on. But in this life, in this body, we only get one chance. And don't allow your divorce to rob you or to blind you or to deceive you of what it is you really want. Let's call it what it is. 100% cool to say, I don't want this. I'm in grief. I don't have it on my plate right now to handle anything else because I'm sad and I'm lonely, right? That's one thing. But to say, I'm just going to do it by myself. I don't want a man. I don't want a relationship. That's another thing. If that's your case, that's your case. Like, so totally, so be it. But let's not lie to ourselves of what we really want and prevent ourselves from living the life we want and attracting the things we want and bringing in the experiences that we want because of our emotional pain. Our pain is something we are experiencing. It is not our identity. It is not our set point. Our set point is what we decide it to be. Our experiences in life are going to be supported by the decisions that we make and our decisions that we are wanting, right? And our goals. That is your experience. That will be your manifestation. So if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. And I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to push you. I'm not here to force you. I am here to share with you my story. I'm here to share with you hundreds, if not thousands of stories of other women who have waited 20, 30 years to do the work. And when they finally get to Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, it's amazing how their lives change. And I've had women who are preparing themselves, like just starting divorce or just after divorce. And I tell them every single day how blessed they are to have been learning this journey now because they're saving 10, 20, 30 years of misery and suffering. And so if you are listening to this video, there is no coincidence. If you are here in Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond and listening to the concepts and hearing from the women who've been through Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, there's no coincidence. Whether DGB is your place or not, again, that's for you to decide. But my guidance to you is do something, get off of the fence. The only thing we get by sitting on the fence is splinters. And let's use our divorce, let's use this relationship distress, not as something that has attacked us, because that's what it wants to do. It wants to come in. It wants to keep you stuck. It wants to keep you feeling lack. It wants to keep you focused on how good you are at work, right? Because that's what happens most of the time is we're badass at work. We've got the good job. We have our family straight. It's this personal side because it wants to keep you a victim to effect. But your fact and our truth is we are the master of cause, and our life can and will unfold based upon how we command it, not how we hope it, not how we wish it, but how we command it. How we decide it's going to be, because remember, we are unstoppable. You are unstoppable. And all it takes is one decision, right? One decision to decide that I'm no longer going to allow my life to define me, is that I am going to co-create and define it. This is when we step into power. This is when we step into our greatness. This is when we step into our soul journey. Because you have been created with a divine mission in mind. And that mission cannot be accomplished if it's bombarded by grief and by pain and by sadness. We are not operating at the best of ourselves while we're operating at the worst of ourselves. Again, every day is precious. So with that said, Below, I'm going to put in my masterclass that you could watch for free. It's amazing. There's good tidbits. I've had so many women tell me they have taken pages of notes. So I'm going to put in the link for my masterclass that you could watch. And if you're ready to do the work, then book a Breakthrough to Life and Love call with me and let's get started. Let's get you in the program. Let's get you moving. Let's get you living. You get to come to Arizona with us. You get to have fun with us. So with that said, sending you so much love. Have an amazing rest of the day. See you soon. Bye.